I always knew that I would get cancer. My mom died of colon cancer at the age of 86. My dad had passed away of esophageal cancer back in 2000. He was 72. And they really didn't know too much about esophageal cancer then. And he had a horrible surgery, and they left 3 sponges in him and all this, rigmarole that he never needed to go through if we would have found the right doctors then. And I always thought, I'm going to get the big C sooner or later. I never thought it would be as soon as 52. Hello, everybody. My name is Abby Lee Miller, and I'm from Dance Moms. I'm here today at Women's Health to tell you all about my experience being diagnosed with a very rare form of lymphoma, Burkitt lymphoma. I think you need to be an advocate for your own body. And I work with so many women because their daughters take dance from me. And I know that women all over the world take care of their children. Your child twists their ankle, they have a cough, they have spots all over them. You are at the doctor immediately. You also take care of your husband. When he's sick, it's like the whole world is coming to an end. And you also take care of your own parents. You become the caregiver and you put yourself last. That's what I always did. But when you know that there's a pain that is so significant, that is so traumatic, you have to do something about it. You have to find the answers. So if you go to a doctor, this is kind of my little telltale sign. Ask them if you can record what they're saying. If they tell you no, find another doctor. You want that information, and you want to be able to go home and process it and listen to it over and over and hear exactly what they said. Because let's face it, if you're in the emergency room or you're in the doctor's office, you're upset, you're worked up, you're in pain, and you might not hear everything clearly. That's my advice. If you know something's wrong, get to the bottom of it. I think it's important to your friends and your peers, I think it's important for them to visit and to keep you going, to keep you in touch with the outside world. It was hard for me because during my staycation, I was away for 8 months and people continued with their lives. The world didn't stop for me. But when I was in the hospital and I was laying there and I was watching this all happen before my eyes and on television and on my phone, it saddened me. I was upset that I couldn't do those things. Why? Why is God doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? Why aren't I out there? Why aren't I doing all those things those kids are doing? It's hurtful. My advice for anybody shopping for a wig is buy the cheap ones, the $39.99 jobs. Find something you like, the style perhaps, and then maybe have it copied in a real wig. I found out much too late that there's a hair salon in Pittsburgh, and that's what they do. They make wigs that match your look before you had the chemo and you lost your hair. So I think you should go the cheap route, and I changed my look up. I had a brand new wig on the show every single week this season. Just trying out different looks. It's fun. You can do crazy things that you would never do with your own hair, like dye it pink. Using a wheelchair for the first time, that's driving a car for the first time, literally. I am in my wheelchair 16 hours a day sometimes, on set, literally 16 hours a day. Now, I have really good floors in my studio, so my back didn't bother me so much. But when you're here in New York City or you're in LA and you're out on the streets, the pavement, the sidewalk, all the potholes and the broken curbs, and every time you go through the sidewalk and the cement's divided and there's a line, it's pounding on your tailbone. It's awful. So that's one thing you need to work on, is transferring your weight, pressure relief, taking the pressure off of your tailbone, all the things that your physical therapist is going to tell you about. Take it and listen. Take their advice and live with it, because it's so important to protect the body that you have left. This is going to be your car. This is going to be your legs. This is your seat. This is your lounge chair for the pool. This is everything. So make sure it fits you, make sure it's comfortable. But Burkitt lymphoma is completely different. It's not something that can metastasize. It's not breast cancer that it then goes to your lungs and then to your liver and then this and that. It grows very quickly, but they can also kill it very quickly. I had 10 rounds of chemotherapy, very, very, very invasive chemotherapy. The spinal tap, the big, huge needle going into my spine, injecting chemotherapy, shooting it up my spinal cord to go around my brain. It was bad. It was poison in my system day in and day out for months. When I was told I had cancer, I was so sedated that I had no idea what they told me, and I was just not processing. I had a PET scan done, 3 sessions in, 3 treatments of chemotherapy in, and there was not one cell of cancer left. I did 7 more sessions because let's be safe, let's get it all. And now I wonder if maybe I would be walking if I would have just been in physical therapy that whole time instead of doing chemo and then going back to the Rehabilitation Institute and chemo and back and forth and back and forth. It wore me down. And I would get back there and I'd be ready to walk and do this and do that. And I was lethargic. I needed a blood transfusion. Nobody could be near me. They had to gear up with the masks and the spacesuit and everything. So we'll never know. I have a competitive spirit. It's what I do. It's my livelihood. I go to competitions to win, not for the experience, not to just see how it goes, but I go for the win. And if I know in the back of my mind it's not going to be a big winning number, then I'm probably trying to teach the kids something about performing or about doing a different type of routine. I know it's not going to win, but I still want them to learn this anyway. And I have that competitive edge in me. And I think that's what got me through. Did I want to beat the dance studio down the street? Yes. Did I want to beat Burkitt lymphoma? Hell yes.